Welcome back to the Dream Nations Cup 2025. We turn things over to the men, Division 1. And this one, a battle for the top spot in Division 1 on the third and final day of group play between Team Indigenous and Team Armenia. Will Wiggleman here with you. The Indigenous side 2-0 with 4 points after wins over South Korea and Central America. Meanwhile, Armenia comes in 1-1, second in men's Division 1 after a win over Egypt on day 1 and a loss last night in the nightcap, tight game to Puerto Rico. But because of the tiebreaker being head-to-head, if Armenia wins this game, they would hold the tiebreaker against Team Indigenous and be able to get that top spot on the men's Division 1 side. We will pause momentarily for the anthems for each of these respective teams. Should be a great one. Kick off the men's Division 1 slate. There is lots to figure out on that side because besides Indigenous at number 1, Armenia at number 2, you have Central America, Egypt, and Puerto Rico, all with 2 points, same as Armenia. And then South Korea in last place with no points at 0-2, but still, they may have a path to the bracket part of the tournament. We'll pause for today's anthems. Those are your anthems ahead of this afternoon's game between Team Indigenous and Team Armenia. If you are just joining us, the stakes for this one are high. The top seed on the men's Division 1 side on the line. The winner will get the top spot and will play in the second game of tomorrow's semifinals for the men's Division 1. And the loser could possibly play in that game as well. It depends on how the rest of today shakes out. As currently, again, in the men's Division 1 standings, You have Indigenous at the top with 4 points, South Korea at the bottom with none, and then the other 4 teams, Armenia, Central America, Egypt, and Puerto Rico, all with 2 points apiece. We'll see who can pull it out here today. We get set for action. The final day of Men's Division I round robin has kicked off. Looks like the goaltenders today will be, of course, Tommy Mount once again for Team Indigenous, who gets a steal here. Here's Graziano, a shot up a stick and up out of play. Mount, the only goaltender on the Team Indigenous roster. And on the other side will be Tenyel Karabaghassian for the Armenians, who shut out Egypt on day 1 with 18 saves. The 20-year-old from Quebec represented Armenia in last year's Dream Nations and played this season in the USPHL Premier. Here's Artunian. Works his way in on the left wing side. Artunian, a shot, and Mount looked behind him, but he has it under his arm, and he hangs on for a whistle and a face-off. Offensive zone draw here for the Armenians. They're wearing their white jerseys here. Indigenous, of course, in the purple, as Mount makes the blocker save. And the sun going in and out right now here at the Dream Nations, at the American Dream Mall. The skylight overhead. Shot off a stick and up out of play. So light again coming in and out. But we will try and keep everything as bright and visible as possible for you. Faceoff got past Sayan. He retreats back to his own end. And we're happy now to bring on Julianne Fuller, whose son Jackson plays for the Indigenous team, wearing number 15 in purple. Welcome into our broadcast as your team works in the offensive zone here.
Thank you, Will.
Michael Davis's pass escapes the zone. Team Indigenous certainly a short bench at this tournament. Jackson has gotten himself a lot of ice time. What's this experience been like for him?
Quite an honor to be invited to play with this team. It's been amazing. His experiences have been amazing, meeting new people, being one of the younger players on this team.
Played behind the net by Cook. Shot goes off the backboards, off the stick of Inland. Back up come the Armenians. Sheminian drops it off for Aloyan, gave it back, they score! A nice give and go by Armenia, finished off by Nico Sheminian. Early lead for Team Armenia. That big first goal. As we talked about that short bench, Indigenous with just 10 players there on the bench, and Armenia a full squad stretching up and down the bench on their side. Armenia trying to work back in. It's Aloyan. Gave it off for Fontaine. Centering pass. The shot by Hovsepian goes over top of the cage. Tries to get back to it. Hovsepian had 2 goals in the nightcap last night. 4-2 loss to Puerto Rico. This one punched away by Mount. Hovsepian turns the corner. Gave it off. The shot off a stick and up out of play as Boyamian tried to get it on net. Quick start for Team Armenia. As Hovsepian gets set for this face-off. Ryan Davis able to glove it down. Try to get it up in Fuller's direction. Comes all the way through. Matson a try. And Karabaghasian with the save. Back the other way comes Armenia. Sent all the way across. They try and stuff it. Didn't work. Spun around by Hovsepian. Centering feed. Fontaine got a couple of whacks at it and couldn't get it on goal. Fontaine looking to fly right back in on the left wing side. Goes on the brakes. Centered in front. Aloyan stopped by Mount with the right pad. So he pulled it to the backhand. Armenia with a good push early. And of course, we're here at the American Dream Ball in New Jersey, one of the many great places that Jackson has been able to play. And ask you in a moment, as Aratunyan comes all the way through, couldn't get a shot away. But what are some of your favorite places that Jackson has and hockey has brought you guys?
Jackson was playing in Alaska last year as part of Team NT at the Arctic Winter Games in 2024. He has played with several teams in the Yukon Native Tournament in Whitehorse, Yukon. He's played at the Alberta Indigenous Tournament in Edmonton as well. He's played in some very unique places across Canada, and this is his first time stepping out of the country.
And for those who may not know, you mentioned Team NT. You could tell people who, again, may not know what the NT stands for.
Team NT is part of Northwest Territories, and he played with the U15 team last year at the Arctic Winter Games. They take 2 male teams and 1 female team to Arctic Winter Games every 2 years. Arctic Winter Games is a celebration of sport with bringing the circumpolar countries together, and it is actually an international event. So he has played an international event before. And last year was his first year of eligibility to play in those games.
Here's Cook starting to work up for Team Indigenous. Still on the power play here, as high sticking was the call against Armenia's Aratunyan. Graziano steps in. Tried to get to his forehand, couldn't get the shot away. And it's cleared by Boyamian. Nick Graziano showed off a great shot that he has in this tournament. 4 goals over the 2 games, including a hat trick in the 9-4 win over South Korea in Game 1. Cook all the way around the net, dropped it off. Matson put it out in front. Only Armenians there. They'll move out short-handed. Sheminian, who has the only goal so far, stepped across the line, but offsides is Team Armenia. 50 seconds left on the power play for Team Indigenous. There's certainly players with impressive resumes here on Team Indigenous. You look at Ryan Davis, number 17, a former NHL draft pick, played in some great pro leagues, the Central Hockey League, the Western Professional Hockey League, the ECHL, and certainly must be exciting for Jackson to play with players like that and share the ice with players like that with all kinds of pro experience. You can't even put words to how excited he is to be here. Another shorthanded rush for Armenia. It's stopped by Mount, and crashing into the post, and now down on the ice is Moradian. He's in a little bit of distress behind the net. He ran into that post as he drove the cage. During Team Egypt women's game earlier, I had a goalie mom up here. You are still a hockey mom, but a little bit of nervous energy whenever your son's on the ice.
Oh, yes. And the nerves went up when he left home to play hockey in Edmonton last year, and this year he's in a school just outside of Montreal, so he's even further from home.
Certainly must be fun to see. Again, lots of new places, kind of been a theme of hockey, but it's certainly a sport that brings you a lot of places, as Moravian is helped back to the Armenian bench.
It does, and to see his hockey development over the years has just been amazing for him to grow so much, stepping outside of the territories.
I'm sure up there you guys have a lot more outdoor hockey than we do down here, and certainly for lots more of the years. Here comes Armenia, shorthanded 2-on-1. That shot kicked out by Mount. Reichel Davis gets in, off towards Fuller. Play back over to the far side. Idlin gets there first. Fuller couldn't put it on net. Pops out to Brett Jackson. Armenia back to full strength as the penalty has expired. Was back up in Jackson's direction. Now Ukrainian for Team Armenia was knocked off the puck. Back the other way come the Indigenous. Reichel Davis gave it off for Idland. Idland in front, Fuller just couldn't wrap it in. Jackson, a shot just missed wide, and you hear live the excitement of a hockey mom in the stands. There's Fuller,
Shoot, shoot, shoot.
A chance to score!
Yay!
Right just for you on the broadcast. Jackson Fuller gets his second goal of this tournament and ties it up. How about that?
That was an exciting moment to be up here to see that.
Bringing good luck. One all our score, 8:10 left to go in period one. And an excitement many hockey parents know well. See their child score on the ice, and again, fun, super fun to capture that up in the booth on the broadcast
Very.
today.
I think if Jackson knew I was up here, he would be not that happy. Doesn't like me when I talk about him for sure, and I can talk about him all day long.
Here's a stretch pass that was knocked away. Pitchfork out of the zone. Cook trying to send Graziano in with it. Now Graziano, 1-on-2. Takes a look towards the net. Shot missed wide. Cook collects it on the other side. Gets it back down deep. Graziano and Boyamian came together, and net came off as Matson and Manikian ran into it. Let's see if the Indigenous side gets some momentum from that goal. Faceoff will come outside of the Armenia zone. Yeah, short bench certainly must be tough, but it has felt like the Indigenous team has gotten more momentum as games have moved along in this tournament in the second and third periods.
I think when you bring players together from all over and they haven't played together before, they don't necessarily know each other, they don't know their talents. It takes a while to figure out where your players are and how to connect with each other on the ice.
Ovsepian makes a pass over, could be collected cleanly, backhand try, wouldn't go. And at the point, Ovsepian cuts to the crease, and Mount able to cover up that puck and get the whistle.
Talked about outdoor ice, and Jackson's played a lot of his time in the outdoors. They only have one rink in their town, and it shut down for renovations for 2 seasons. So they played outside and in gyms. The pond hockey tournament every year in March in Hay River, Northwest Territories. It's very exciting.
I'll tell you, we can't necessarily play pond hockey in March this far south.
They put out 12 sheets of ice. It's an adult tournament. Jackson had the opportunity to work one of the Zambonis this year, he worked in Olympia, so it was very exciting for him. He was really itching to play, but in the future.
Will he still run the Zamboni when he's playing? Maybe just take off the skates and hop on the Zamboni in the full gear.
Do whatever you need to do.
Hovsepian trying to weave his way through center ice. Gets into the offensive zone, cuts to the middle. His pass off was behind its intended target. Tadeyan swings it down to the corner. Fontaine keeps it moving. Ryan Davis able to take over. For Brett Jackson, playing the FPHL this year for HC Venom. Reichel Davis now over the line. Went down. Aganazov, another former FPHLer. Swing it around to Tadeyan. Up comes Armenia. Slid through, pass across. Aloyan took an extra stick handle, and that gave Mount time to get across and make the save. Idland had his pass go off a skate. Aloyan the other direction. Left it off. And then fanning on that pass was Meridian. Manukian swung it behind the net. Hovsepian didn't get much on that shot. Mount's able to make a pad save, and it's poked neatly out of the zone by Dylan Idland. 5 minutes left to go in period one. Armenia up on shots 11-3, but it's a 1-all game. Sayin going end to end. That is stick lifted by Jackson. From behind the net, sent out top, Boyamian. Artunian hands off. Artunian again behind the net. Centering feed. Boyamian came all the way in from his defensive position but couldn't get a shot away. Boyamian pass across, kick saved by Mount on the one-timer by Kalechian. Davis was tripped up, and a penalty coming up against Sayin of Armenia as Davis turned around looking to bring in that puck. Sayin came from behind him and kind of tripped him up. Davis didn't see him coming, went down hard, a little bit slow to his skates. But Indigenous get their second power play this first period. Sayin wearing a C for Team Armenia, 33 years of age, represented Armenia 2 Latin Cups and 3 points in last year's Dream Nations. 1 assist in 2 games so far. He sits in the box. Kruger down behind the net. Matson and Aganazov tie up. Cook back down towards Matson. Up to the point, Jackson across, one-timer Graziano, save made by Karabakh Hassian. And Armenia able to clear it down. Kruger gave it off to Jackson. Try to whip it back this way. And now stepping in is Team Indigenous. Pass to Matson. Kind of tied him up a little bit. Cook on goal. That one batted down by Aganazov. Armenia will get a change here. Minute 7 left on the Indigenous power play. Here comes Cook on the left wing side. Flying in. Colton Cook taken in the corner by Manukian. Now Sheminian for Team Armenia. Up short-handed, 40 seconds left on the penalty. Sheminian trying to muscle off Ryan Davis, and Davis ends up with the puck. Headman feed. Now a rink wide pass to Reichel Davis. Throws on the brakes. Reichel Davis takes a look from the half wall. Up top, Jackson. Looks down low, sent it on goal. Save made, rebound, poked at, and recollected by Cook. Around to Reichel Davis. as Sayin gets set to step out of the penalty box. We're back to 5-on-5. Davis to Jackson. Touched it around. Ryan Davis on net. Got through. Ended up on the other side. Reichel Davis takes it from Kalechian. Jackson skates along the blue line. Tried to throw it on goal. Partially blocked. Karams right to Reichel Davis. Back in front. Jackson in the back door. They score! Beautiful passing play by Team Indigenous. And it's Colton Cook who gets the goal to make it 2-1. Team Armenia got the block shot up high. They all started going the wrong direction, up ice. And Indigenous able to take advantage of the odd man chance down low. First lead of the game for Team Indigenous. Armenia looking for to tie as Kalechian. That shot kicked out. Aganazov kept it in at the point. His shot blocked by Fuller. Down in the corner, Kalechian cuts in front, saved by Mount. Sayin on the right wing side, towards the net. Around towards Kalechian. Kalechian capes it in. Over to Sayin on the right wing side. Sayin around the cage. Got it down to the corner. Ryan Davis able to cause some trouble for the Armenians, trying to force it out. So we hit the final minute of play of period 1, and Fuller able to muscle it over the blue line. Kalechian had it stolen. Idland a long range try. That was stopped. Suicide scrum in the corner, pulled out by Kruger. Now Armenia on it. 34 seconds left to go in this first period. Meridian. Now pass up to Artunian off his stick. Ryan Davis hands it off for Reichel Davis. Left wing side, drops it off. Inlet a drive, gloved and held by Karabag Hussian. With about 16 seconds left in the opening period. And Team Indigenous looking for one last chance to get another one before the end of the frame. Graziano lined up right at the top of the circle. See him bottom of your screen. Reichel Davis couldn't win it to him as he tried to force it towards the net. Ukrainian up the glass. Armenia can't chip it out. Ryan Davis sealed it off. Reichel Davis with 2, knocked off the puck, and that will do it for period number 1. But things still not done as Ukrainian and Ryan Davis getting involved. Dayan also came over. It was Markarian who grabbed at Ryan Davis and then gave him a nice face wash. Teams continue to bark. They'll be separated and we can finally get to the first intermission. Indigenous, a 2-1 lead. We will be right back with period 2 here from the Dream Nations Cup. Back here getting set for the start of period number 2 from the American Dream Mall. Team Indigenous with a 2-1 lead on Team Armenia. Julianne Fuller joining me again. Got to see her son Jackson score from up here, and now Superstition, you don't want to go anywhere.
No. It's a very nice view from up here to see everything. It is like they're playing outdoors with that dome. I imagine the ice, though, is really trippy with the grading on it and the shadows.
Shadows from that big skylight here atop the rink. Team Armenia will be starting this second period on a power play as 2 Indigenous players and 1 Armenian sitting in penalty boxes. Ryan Davis and believe that is Idlin for Team Indigenous. No, pardon me, Idlin's on the bench. Can't see who that is in the box for Indigenous, but for the Armenians, it's Beck Markarian. It was Markarian and Davis who got into a bit of a dust-up right at the end of that first period. Now, Team Armenia will get a power play here for the first 2 minutes of period 2, trying to tie the game. Manokian down low, centering feed. The shot fought off by Mount. And Ganazov, DDD pass across the blue line. Gets it back over to the far side. Hovsepian had his pass picked off. Up comes Brett Jackson short-handed. He'll throw on the brakes and go back trying to waste some time, but his pass back was intercepted, and the shot stopped by Mount off the stick of Artunian. Hovsepian off a stick, Artunian. Trying to go back to Hovsepian. That was taken away by Jackson, and he clears. The already short bench for Team Indigenous has to deal with 2 players in the penalty box for at least the next 2 minutes. Hovsepian all the way around the net. It's out in front. That was blocked. And Jackson takes a look and backhands it out. Matson was in the area, but Armenia turns it back into the offensive zone. Hovsepian cuts to the slot, slipped it down low. This one pinballs around, and they score from behind the net. Artur Aloyan put it out in front. That hit an Indigenous defender, and Armenia gets a power play goal to tie things up. A tough break for Team Indigenous. So we'll bring it back to 5-on-5, but Davis and Markarian have to serve the full 2 minutes of their coincidental penalties. Davis may have picked up the extra 2. That's why there was a second player in the box serving his 2 minutes. But coincidental minor penalties typically do not result in a change in on-ice manpower. That's why it was 5-on-4 as Davis picked up a second penalty on the play. Davis and Markarian will also have to wait for a whistle to come out of the box once their 2 minutes is done, because it is 5-on-5 and because they are coincidental penalties. But a 2-2 game. Aloyan adding a goal to his first period assist. Armenia looking for more. Dedeyan trying to send it up ice. Fuller able to get it out of the zone. Dedeyan now again. Couldn't weave into the offensive end with the puck, and it's backhanded out. Battalion on the right wing side. His shot missed. Reichel Davis able to spin away, trying to spring a rush, but his pass couldn't find Fuller or Matson. Now Davis a chance, he scores! Reichel Davis gets it right back for Team Indigenous, and they restore their lead. What a play by Reichel Davis, who's looked like the best player for Team Indigenous in this tournament. He has been fantastic, and he scores another big goal. He got the late game winner against Central America last night. And how about the resilience here from the Indigenous squad, giving up a goal, but then getting right back after it to take the lead again. Quickly off the draw, Team Armenia has iced it. So 3-2 Indigenous, 12:33 left to go in the second. Hovsepian, long range speed, finds Aloyan, has a man going to the net, got it there, the shot over top of the cage. Mount got a piece, and it was Nick Fontaine who was driving in. Fontaine plays at the University of Tampa AAU hockey. Not his first time representing Armenia, did so in the most recent Latam Cup. Had an opportunity there, looking for his first goal of this tournament. That shot didn't get through. Here comes Indigenous on the left wing side. Graziano got the pass to the center, but couldn't pull it into a shooting position. Hovsepian overskated the puck. Idlin looks over to Cook. Now moving back in comes Armenia. Aloyan is all by himself in front of the net, but whistles blow. Maybe the puck went up out of play over here on the near side. I just didn't see it. It's tough to see over everything that's going on here on the near side from this vantage point, unfortunately.
There are a lot of computers blocking your view here as well. There's a lot of computers, a lot of electronics, a lot of cables.
You see a little peek behind the curtain. Takes a lot to get this broadcast out. We appreciate Harney and Sons Tea for sponsoring our broadcast all week long. Moving back the other way comes Team Armenia. Drop pass, Kalechian sent that one over top of the net. Now Jackson takes it for Team Indigenous. Skates his way up. Jackson flying in on the left wing side. Jackson stumbled for a bit, got it out in front. And Karabakh Hassian able to make the stop on Idland in tight. Team Indigenous driving, looking for more to extend that lead. It's been a back and forth game. Team Armenia had a 1-0 lead, and then Indigenous with leads of 2-1 and now 3-2. Ryan Davis, by the way, is out of the penalty box. He had to serve. He has served all of his time. He takes a shot from the point that's blocked on the way through. Here comes Team Armenia the other way. Outside try. Goes off the backboards. Badalean. Dancing his way to the slot. Had it poked away. Sayin back in the neutral zone. Dumps it in. Ryan Davis. Rink wide feed to Reichel Davis. Pass off to the outside. Matson shot stopped in the rebound. Just gets past Fuller, who is in tight right on the crease. Matson back pass in front. Fuller has pushed it back right towards Matson. Reichel Davis to the point. Ryan Davis lets it go through traffic. And that one ends up in the near side corner. Now a steal by Armenia. They move up. Fuller takes it back for Team Indigenous. Off to Matson on his backhand. Just shoveled it wide. Manukian, long lead pass. Fung to the net on his backhand. And Ryan Davis tripped him up. And a penalty coming up against Team Indigenous, but Ryan Davis may have prevented a goal with that penalty. He'll head back to the box for the second time. And Armenia, a chance to tie on the power play. They're 1 for 1 on the man advantage. Well, Kalechian and Graziano get set for this face-off. And now Graziano scoops it up. Working with Cook short-handed. And Cook decides to peel back. Indigenous looking to waste more time as it's floated all the way down. Fontaine starts his way up ice. Had knocked off his stick. He'll come back for it. Passes on for Kalechian. Right wing side, Kalechian. Trying to work past Kruger. His number 11 opposite, sent towards the net and right through the crease. Aloyan picks it up on the other side. Kalechian. And now it's poked towards Cook. Has it short-handed. He drops it off to Jackson. Jackson peels back again. We are halfway through this power play for Armenia. Goes all the way down. Karabakh Hussian playing it away from the oncoming Cook. Armenia back in. Fed across. In tight. And trying to put it out in front was Kalechian. Couldn't do it thanks to a sliding Jackson. Up top, Aganazov let it go. Kick save by Mount. Aloyan tried to put it out in front. And now a shot by Aratunyan is swallowed up by Tommy Mount. 25 seconds left in this penalty to Ryan Davis. Off this draw. Fed across, Aganazov. Working all the way around the net. Ovsepian. Now he gets up top. Goes on the brakes, cuts down the slot. He scores! That one changed direction on the way through. And Hovsepian let it go. Another power play goal for Team Armenia has tied it up at 3. Team high 4th of the tournament for Hovsepian. Also leads the team now with 7 points. Currently playing at Salve Regina University, NCAA Division III. In a big game last night against Puerto Rico. And he gets a big goal here for Team Armenia. 3-all, 8:11 to go in period 2. We talked about the importance of this game at the top. The winner will be in the top spot of the men's Division 1. Of course, as here's Fung with a shot glove down by Mount. Of course, this is the last day of the round robin. Tomorrow we will get to the semifinals, which should be very interesting. Men's Division 1 feels very tight. Lots of teams that can certainly take the crown. Fung to the point. The Dayan a shot off the back wall. Armenia, the defending runners-up. The defending champions Algeria not here as Fung sends it across. Couldn't be collected by Sheminian. Delayed offsides against Armenia, so they couldn't touch it. Comes all the way back to the neutral zone where they're allowed to handle it. Bounced off the boards, out of the zone. To Dayan. Or Boyamian. Off the wall, Sheminian. Couldn't handle it. Fong able to dump it deep. We approach 7 minutes left to go in period 2. 3-all between the team Indigenous and Armenia. Shots 20-12 in favor of the Armenians at this point. Reichel Davis with a steal. Up to the left wing side with some space. It's Idland a shot. That's stopped by Karabakh Hussien. Now Idland again put it in the middle of the crease where it's cleared away. Hovsepian was the most recent goal. Couldn't dangle around Jackson. Oloyan backs him up. Centering feed Fontaine. Sent it all the way across to Hovsepian again. Tried to put it towards the slot. Reichel Davis cut it off. Davis trying to split through, couldn't do it. He's knocked down. Looking back for a penalty that he won't get. Ryan Davis up to Fuller. Able to wrap it in. Delayed offsides. Now Indigenous has touched up, but it's stretched on for Hovsepian. He cuts to the slot, takes a look, takes the shot, and Mount has it in the glove. Now Hovsepian very dangerous from that spot on the ice. This has been a fun game back and forth, as both teams have had their opportunities. Certainly an exciting one, as right now one of the Indigenous players, looks like Ty Jacobs, is heading off the ice towards the locker room with both of his sticks. So he might be out for the rest of the game. And Indigenous will be down to 9 skaters if that is indeed the case. Kalechian able to toss it along. Ryan Davis stole it from Meridian. Oyamian able to keep it in. Now Aganazov let it go, and a blocker save by Mount. Aratunyan down low. They send it up top. Kalechian got a shot away finally as he was knocked down by Graziano, and it wouldn't go. Cook just wires it the length of the ice, and Team Indigenous will take the icing. Graziano trying to change. He said something on his skate is broken. Typically, you're not allowed to change after an icing, but sometimes the referees will grant certain exceptions, injury, or something on
equipment failure.
Equipment failure. It seems to be the case here for Graziano. Aratunyan tried to center, couldn't do it. Reichel Davis tried to make a pass, that was knocked back. Kalechian made a pass off. Left wing side, Aratunyan trying to spin away from pressure in the corner. Fuller off the boards all the way down. That puck on edge, it's rolling. And icing waved off at the last moment, so we play on. Lead passes for Kalechian. It's taken away. Reichel Davis re-enters the offensive zone. Pass off for Cook, slid it right towards the net. And Karabakh Hussien able to cover up and get the whistle in the face-off. We're 18 left to go here in period number 2. 3-all between Team Indigenous and Team Armenia.
And they just lost another player.
Another player just went off for Team Indigenous. As Reichel Davis, one-timer by Idland. Off the pass, whistles wide. Idland down the boards. Reichel Davis goes back up to Idland. Davis again. Team Indigenous down to 8 skaters at least for the moment, possibly for the game, as Ukrainian steps in. It was Graziano who went off, possibly for an equipment fix, And hopefully he can get that figured out and be back for at least the third period. Maybe sooner, we'll see, as Sayin steps in, goes off the back boards. And it's Rachel Davis up the left wing side. Davis works in, cuts to the middle, his shot off the backboards. Inland following it up is stopped by Karabakh Hussian. Aganazov up the boards. Chipped out. Mark Kranian able to get a pass off, and Mount makes the save on that shot by Alex Badalian. 3:08 left to go in period 2. Get a face-off deep in the Indigenous end. Shaminian and Cook will line up for it. See some Armenia fans around. Seeing flags, scarves. Plenty of support for the Armenian side in this tournament. This one sent all the way down. Zakarian will win the race to negate the icing. Popped high up in the air. Shaminian trying to glove it down. Shaminian centering feed. Comes out. Shot stopped by Mount. Rebound. They jam away. It's behind the net now. Mount without his stick. It's swept up high. Shot comes in off a stick and up out of play. And now Zakarian and Davis coming together. Ryan Davis upset with Zakarian, giving him some shoves, as well as Fung. Now Shaminian challenging Ryan Davis. There's a scrum in the crease. Davis still with plenty more words for Fung and Zakarian. Davis and Zakarian still having a conversation as Davis is escorted to the penalty box. Zakarian will head to the box as well. We'll see if things stay even up, but temperature's certainly turning up in this game. Both teams getting testy. 2.5 minutes left to go in period 2. Final game of round robin play for these two sides. In men's division 1, the winner will take first place in the division. If Armenia wins, there will be some things to figure out, as the rest of the games will continue throughout the rest of the day. But if Team Indigenous is able to win, they will take that top spot. An Indigenous team that finished 3rd last year, winning the bronze medal game over Team Egypt 6-3. Of course, Armenia finishing 2nd in last year's Dream Nations, as Nick Graziano has returned to the Indigenous bench, which is a good sign. Has gotten his equipment issue figured out. Again, Armenia lost in overtime to Algeria in the final, 7-6.
Ooh, that's a close game for a final.
It was a wild final, back and forth. And Algeria was able to win it, as we have conversations over in the Indigenous penalty box. Ryan Davis, subject of the chat. Matson was in the box for a moment, but now he's being allowed out. Graziano will step in instead. It's Davis in one penalty box along with Graziano, and Alex Zakarian in the Indigenous penalty box. The coaching staff on the Armenian bench, led by Eric Karabakh Hassian and Rafi Vartazarmian, getting an explanation from the refereeing staff. Ryan Davis on the other side, the elder statesman of this Indigenous team. getting the conversation on the other side. And now Ryan Davis has been asked to leave the game. That is a big blow for Team Indigenous. Their leader and their rock defensively has been asked to leave the game. Hopefully we'll get an explanation here at some point. And the call is a game misconduct for Ryan Davis, because any player who takes 4 minor penalties in the same game gets a game misconduct automatically. Ryan Davis already up to 4 minor penalties. We will continue here, and the Indigenous bench down to 8 skaters. There's Jackson Fuller. Able to shovel it up the boards. Kalechian all the way around the net, and he starts to add up ice. Kalechian flies in, past the outside. The shot fought off by Mount to hit him right in the mask. Oloyan fires a pass across. Cook able to stop it and send it out. Armenia, by the way, on a power play here for the next minute and a half. Graziano is in the box serving the 2 minutes for Ryan Davis, who again is out of the game. Fontaine able to send it down deep. Boyamian sent it all the way through. Fontaine collects it on the other side. Back across looking for Boyamian. Oloyan couldn't pick it up off the boards, and Fuller clears it down. 55 seconds left in the penalty for Team Indigenous. Bounced around to the far side. Kalechian collects it there. Jackson engages. Those two tie up. Kalechian sent it across. Oloyan by himself, and he couldn't find the target as he made a move back to the forehand. Get it back to Oloyan. Rink wide feed. That was cut off. Reichel Davis off the boards, out of the zone. Fontaine sends it back. 14 seconds left on the Armenia power play. 40 seconds now left in period 2. And now Idlin with a steal. He's in on the backhand. He scores! Idlin, short-handed, has given Indigenous back the lead. First goal of the tournament for Dylan Idland. Able to pick off the pass, a little lackadaisical from the Armenian power play. And a beautiful backhander to the top shelf. And with the jailbreak rule in this tournament, much like that 4 minor penalties rule that you don't see in many hockey leagues, this jailbreak rule, which is used in women's professional hockey and has certainly been talked about in men's pro hockey, as Aganazov sent that one off the side of the cage. If your team scores shorthanded during a minor penalty, then that player gets to come out of the box, the minor penalty ends, and you're back to 5-on-5. That's exactly what happened there. Final seconds ticking off the clock. That shot blocked on the way through. Jackson hands it off, and Indigenous gets it out. And Team Indigenous will head to the third period with a 4-3 lead. And they close out the Armenians and finish in the top spot of Men's Division 1. Stick around to find out on the Dream Nations Cup YouTube channel. And while you're here, be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on social media. We'll be right back with period number 3. Just want to give you folks an update. Looks like we are getting a full ice cut here from the Zamboni, as the ice has been very torn up. Combination of this great hockey game and the sun coming in from the skylight. So this will be a bit of a longer intermission than normal, but please do stick around here on the Dream Nations Cup YouTube channel. Third period action between Team Indigenous and Team Armenia is coming up. Before we break again, want to thank some of the sponsors of the Dream Nations Cup, CCM and Elite Prospects, namely. They were two of the bigger sponsors helping to put this tournament together. We also, of course, have Harney & Sons Fine Teas, who are the reason why we're able to broadcast this year's tournament for the very first time. Thank you to them, and again, all of the sponsors for the 2025 Dream Nations Cup. If you want to see the stats from this year's tournament, you can find them on DreamNationsCup.com, or they will be on Elite Prospects, which is very exciting. And you can find them on there again, EliteProspects.com. You can also get the app, the Elite Prospects app, available in the App Store. But once again, getting a full ice cut here real quick, and a chance for the short bench of Team Indigenous to get some extra rest as well. But we will be right back with period number 3. getting set for the final period here between Armenia and Team Indigenous. 4-3 advantage for Team Indigenous. First of the 3 round-robin games on day 3 at the Dream Nations Cup for Men's Division 1. And the winner will be in the top spot of Men's Division 1. Right now, Indigenous trying to become the only team in Division 1 to finish 3-0. They're the only team in Men's Division 1 at 2-0 entering today. Aloyan scores from below the goal line, able to bank it in. Aloyan's second goal from behind the goal line. And he's tied it up quickly here in the third. Two goals for Archer Aloyan in this game and an assist as well. So we will need at least one more goal. Hovsepian and Reichel Davis on this face-off. Aloyan able to move it back to Hovsepian. Works in on his backhand, trying to put it out in front. That was knocked away. Now move down towards the crease, and a good play by Kruger to pull that puck out and get it out. But it will be an icing against Team Indigenous. Oh, quickly here in period 3, in case you're just coming back, Team Armenia has tied things up. Archer Aloyan with his second of the game. This one sent straight out of play, and the faceoff will come outside of the Indigenous end. Kalechian and Reichel Davis. Not yet able to get going. Bit of a false start from the wings on the far side. Now finally we're able to go. Sayan able to toss it down. Matson after it. He's being chased. Matson sent a pass up. It's work to Fuller. Working with Reichel Davis. Davis now able to spin away from Sayan. Matson moved it down the boards. Manukian able to keep it away from Fuller. Manukian able to kick it along. Matson looks to turn it the other direction. Sayan off the near side boards. Kruger trying to make a play on it. Indigenous able to work it out of their zone. Boyamian straight off the bench. Gets into the offensive end. He steps in. His shot missed wide. Back out it comes. To Dayan. Now on the near side. Boyamian able to get his way up. That shot rose over top the cage off the stick of Aratunyan. To Dayan. Gave it up. Reichel Davis off for Cook. Has Davis going to the net. Cook to Davis. He scores! Another turnover that the Team Indigenous is able to take advantage of. And they're up 5-4. Second of the game for Davis. He now has 4 points. This one goes all the way down, and it's an icing against Team Indigenous. A group that has 8 skaters at the moment on their bench is leading this game 5-4 over team with a full contingent and a strong Armenian team at that. Team Indigenous has looked great so far. Shot from the line. That one gloved and held by Mount. Michael Davis has been outstanding in this game and outstanding throughout this tournament. 4 points. He's up to 9 now for the tournament. 2 goals, 2 assists here today. Here's Graziano, nice move. Graziano got back to the forehand, but Karabakh Hassian able to make the stop. Right wing side, Sayin from the outside, hit the side of the cage. Pushed out in front, a backhander is stopped. Rebound, turnaround try, Mount got that as well. And pops out to Graziano, goes off the boards, but Markarian takes back over. Graziano with a good smack to get that puck out of his end. Manukian weaves his way into the offensive zone. Had it poked away. One floated off the far glass. Reichel Davis trying to turn the corner. Start up ice. Idland gets in. Armenia back in numbers. Idland in front looking for Fuller. Now Matson a drive. That hit the leg of Boyamian. Reichel Davis down low. Idland takes a sharp angle shot that Karabakh Hassian got a piece of. Shaminian chased by Matson. Shaminian down around behind the net. The wrap chance closed off by Mount. And it's clapped all the way around and down. Boyamian trying to win the race for icing, but they did call it off. Shaminian trying to get in. A couple of Indigenous players right on Shaminian. Idlin comes back for the puck. He just bounces it out. Aganazov starts the engines up the left wing. Aganazov all the way around. Tried to center. And Brett Jackson, pardon me, able to get it out. Sayin weaves his way back to the Indigenous end. Zakarian was tied up, had it taken away. This one sent all the way down by Jackson, and this one will be an icing. A relentless Armenian attack here, but it's Team Indigenous with a 1-goal advantage. Sepian and Reichel Davis on the face-off. Matson able to clear it down. This one will die short of the icing line, so we continue play. Indigenous very conservative right now, and not a lot of players trying to conserve that energy with a 1-goal lead. Jackson got it up to Idland. Now Cook looking back towards Idland. Pops over to the near side. Aloyan. Spin move on Cook. And Aloyan keeps on chugging. Aloyan cuts in to the net, save Mount. As Artur Aloyan was looking for his hat-trick goal. Jackson tried to get it up to Reichel Davis. That hit his foot. Now one-timer stopped by Mount as Aloyan got the chance. Aganazov able to move it ahead. That shot by Fontaine. Mount looked behind him. He swept it off the line with his goal stick. It slipped through and was rolling towards the line, and Mount swung around and was able to knock it away. Sayin got it up, and a collision at center. Here's Fuller, 1-on-3 to the outside. His shot scooped up by Karabakh Hassian, and we'll get a whistle and a face-off. 8:25 left to go in period number 3. Up this base up, Graziano puts it on net, and Karabakh Hussian with another save. See the Dream Nations banners there down to our right. 2 men's divisions, 1 women's division this year. This is men's division 1. Team Indigenous and Team Armenia. Graziano tried to put it through. That was blocked. Fuller finds it. Over to the near side. Cook ripped it out in front and went right through the blue paint. Jackson trying to hustle to it. He's able to prevent a 3-on-1 chance for Armenia. Here's Fuller dropping it off. Sent across. Reichel Davis to the net. And that was blocked by a battle in front. That outlet pass hit Fuller, and Karam's all the way down. Jackson, the first one on it, takes a look over his shoulder. He floats it all the way up to Reichel Davis, dropping the shoulder, and he's knocked down, muscled to the ice by Dedeyan. Aratunyan flying up, working on Cook, who took it right off his stick. Matson sent it around. Centering pass by Kalechian, that got through. Reichel Davis went down to the ice. Cook claps it around, kept in at the line. Shot on goal, blocker save by Mount. Kalechian able to block that clearing attempt, and Mount gloves it and hangs on. 7 minutes left to go in this one. Reichel Davis, 4 points. Jackson Fuller, also 4 points on a goal and 3 assists. Armenia trying to work in the offensive zone. Pass came out in front. Now a shot didn't get through. Came right back to Markarian, and Mount forced to make a pad save. Boyanman lets it go, and that one just whistled wide. Aganazov back on net, hit a body on the way through. Reichel Davis hands it off. Fuller a shot. That was blocked. They jam away. Karabakh Hussian trying to cover up. He can't. Fuller puts it back on. And Karabakh Hussian able to get back up and find it to make the save. Team Indigenous trying to take the first multi-goal lead of this game. Neither team has led by more than 1, but both teams have led. They stretch it on looking for Fung, but it was out of his reach. No icing here. Fung centering feed. Shaminian shut down, and they score. Zakarian following it up on the 3rd opportunity, and Armenia has leveled it at 5. First point of the tournament for Zakarian. An instant classic here at the Dream Nations, continues to go back and forth. Team Armenia getting up on their bench, trying to make some noise. We are tied up with under 6 minutes to play. And after a quick delay here, we are back set to go once again. This one taken in, Shaminian trying to drive the net. He couldn't get there. Fung pulls it out, pinballed around, and somehow wouldn't go. Karabakh Hassian leave it off for Dedeyan. And now Zakarian tried to center. Cook takes over. His pass intercepted. Manukian into the offensive zone on the outside. Put it into the slot and sticked out of the zone. Fontaine retreating in his own end. Aloyan launched by Cook. Hit 5 minutes left to go in this one. This could end in a tie, by the way, as Aganazov backhands it off the side of the post. And if it does end in a tie, Team Indigenous also does take the top spot in Men's Division 1. They just need a win or a tie to secure that spot, sitting at 2-0. Can they hold out for the final 4:42? Reichel Davis able to push forward with it. Davis trying to swing around on the right wing side. He was collapsed on by a couple of Armenians. Hovsepian works back up. Hovsepian lost the puck. It's gloved down by Graziano, and now he'll skate in. Graziano let it go. Karabakh Hassian the save. And he will cover up for a whistle on a face-off. This may very well be the game of the tournament so far. There are a couple of competitors, but this one has just been an instant classic back and forth. Armenia and Indigenous, top two teams in Men's Division 1. Coming into the game, going blow for blow throughout this one, 5-all. As Mount has to cover it up with the oncoming Meridian. Face-off will be to Mount's left. Off the draw, comes back to the line. Sayan down behind the net. Aratunyan hands it off, gets it back. Back down for Kalechian again. Try to go to Aratunyan once more. Jackson right on him. Kalechian, Aratunyan. Moved it up high, Sayan. Cuts to the middle, his shot off of Mount's mask. Sayan again. And now they'll blow it dead as the strap came loose on Tommy Mount's helmet. After that shot rang him up top. And you see Mount fixing his gear. He has made 36 saves in this game. Armenia up on shots 41-23. And have had a lot of great opportunities. Tommy Mount has been strong between the pipes. Off the draw, comes back to Dedeyan. Pass blocked, comes out in front. Mount, couple of saves. Pops out to the point, and Sayan couldn't keep it in. Dedeyan. Armenia works in. Pushed down the left wing wall. Meridian able to pull it off, but couldn't get to the front of the net with it. Now the headman feed is for Idland. Played it to an area. Dedeyan the only one there. 3 minutes left to go. Tie game. As Manukian heads after it. Delayed offsides against Indigenous, so they have to step back out. Manukian weaves in and whistles blow for an offsides before Manukian shot that puck. Ended up in the net, but Team Indigenous not happy about it. 2:47 left to go. What a game this has been. Makarian getting set for the draw. They'll take it against Cook. Armenia tries to work back into the offensive zone. Ukrainian couldn't step around Reichel Davis. And now it's Fuller entering the offensive zone. Swung it on net. Karabakh Hussian made the save. Aganazov had it stolen. Here comes Cook, has Idlin with him. Cook works in his shot, stop the rebound, they score! A big insurance marker for Team Indigenous, and it's Dylan Idland on the rebound. Pardon me, not an insurance marker, the goal to take the lead for Team Indigenous with 2:16 to go. What a play by Cook, getting it to the net. Team Indigenous trying to come out of this with 2 points. The Dayan on the left wing side. Able to send it all the way around. Cook. So we hit the 2-minute mark. Keep an eye on Karabakh Hussian in the Armenian net. See if they decide to pull him for an extra attacker. Fuller. And now it comes out to Graziano. Works in his shot over top of the cage. Comes all the way across to Dayan. To the far side to Sayan. Reichel Davis now takes control with 80 seconds left to go in this one. Indigenous up by a goal. Here comes Fuller with a shot knocked down by Karabakh Hussian. Shaminian grabs the rebound, trying to muscle off Cook. Shaminian able to weave out with it. Pass up to the left wing side. Aloyan trying to work his way in, but offside are the Armenians at the Indigenous line with 56 seconds left to go. Armenian bench pointing up at the clock. A second or two extra may have rolled off. Team Indigenous is calling a timeout here just to get their players some rest. This has been one heck of a hockey game between Team Indigenous and Team Armenia. 6-5, Indigenous with the lead. And they get the late goal from Dylan Idland, his second of the game. Reichel Davis has had 4 points. Jackson Fuller, 4 points. Colton Cook, 3 points for Team Indigenous. Meanwhile, Artur Aloyan, a 3-point afternoon for Team Armenia. Chris Dedayan, a couple of assists. Seppian, a goal and an assist. Can Team Indigenous hold out? They started the game with 10 skaters. Ty Jacobs left at one point during it. And then Ryan Davis was asked to leave after accruing 4 minor penalties, which is a rule in this game. And now Team Armenia with 58 seconds now they put up on the clock to try and tie it back up. Hovsepian able to step in. Karabakh Hussian to the bench. Extra attacker out for Team Armenia. Comes up to the top. Manukin on goal. They score! Deflected down by Aloyan, and we're tied up again. 39 seconds left. Artur Aloyan has completed the hat trick. A huge goal for Team Armenia. Do we have another twist and turn in this game? Or will we get the tie that certainly both teams have worked hard for and well earned? 30 seconds left to go as Jackson jumps on that puck. Sent it in deep. Manukian rims it around. And now Reichel Davis takes a look. Cook tried to go back to Davis. That pass misfired. To Dayan trying to push in with 10. To Dayan cuts to the middle. Has a stick lifted. That one off a skate and wide. Jackson let it on for Graziano with 3, with 2. He's down on the ice, and that will do it. A heck of a hockey game ends in a 6-all tie between Team Indigenous and Team Armenia. What a game! As Team Indigenous will finish first in the men's Division 1 group at 2-0-1 with 5 points. Team Armenia finishes 1-1-1 with 2 points. And right now in a precarious situation. As coming up later, Team Central America, Team Egypt, and Team Puerto Rico will all have opportunities to pick up points. And between those 4, those 3 and Armenia, only 3 will be able to make the bracket part of the tournament. So will 3 points be enough for Armenia? We will find out. Tiebreakers may come into effect here. But what a hockey game this was. Artur Aloyan, a hat trick capped off by the game-tying goal in the final minute. And if this is how we're starting off the men's Division 1 slate today, you'll want to stick around for Central America against South Korea. That is our next game coming up just a few minutes from now on the Dream Nations Cup YouTube channel. And don't go anywhere. You'll be able to find it right here. And we will talk to you again just a few minutes here from the American Dream Mall. 6-all tie between Indigenous and Armenia.